That was pretty sweet. In totality, that series against the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park, the first Astros sweep in Boston ever, with 39 hits, 26 runs along the way. I love it, especially since I divorced the Red Sox for the Houston Astros. I cheated on my first wife. She sucked. I left them for a better, younger, more, appropriate partner. And here we are. That was beautiful to see the Astros finish it. It did get a little dicey towards the end. At least Framber Valdez didn't throw at anybody when he was giving up all those runs in that one inning. But guys, we have a lot to be happy about today. Not just the 5 straight wins for your Houston Astros. And I guess you can't be happy about the Mariners' performance last night. They did win, but Julio Rodriguez once again did not play. I don't know if he kicked a Gatorade cooler too, because he's dealing with a foot injury. Shout out to Sean Mapes for writing that joke. They did get help to get back into a 2-way sort of tie for first place from South Oklahoma's sad gang of choke artists. It's time for Rangers Watch.
In the eyes of a ranger, the unsuspecting stranger had better know the truth of wrong from right. 'Cause the eyes of the ranger are upon you. Any wrong you do, he's gonna see. When you're in Texas, look behind you.
But also in front?
'Cause that's where the Rangers gonna be.
Whoa. And I know everyone wants to hear Haley Joel Osment say, Walker told me I have AIDS. No. We got to update it. It took way too effing long. Should have happened, honestly, by the start of June. Tab was correct with his last trash talk phone call that he had when I was on with Josh Beard on Monday. It took way too long. But it's finally happened. Let's play the appropriate Sean Mapes open to Rangers Watch.
In the eyes of a ranger, the unsuspecting stranger had better know the truth of wrong from right. 'Cause the eyes of the ranger are upon you. Something he's gonna see. When you're in Texas, look behind you, bitch. 'Cause that's where the Rangers gonna be.
Walker told me I had AIDS.
Oh, yes! It could not be sweeter! The way that the Rangers blew the AL West lead officially last night. They actually traded for Aroldis Chapman to help bolster their bullpen. And my God, guys, this is just poetic justice for one of the nicest guys in sports. Intentional walk, very next pitch. He hit the batter. Here is how the sad Rangers broadcast sounded as they witnessed the end of the Texas Rangers run first place in the American League West.
And that's the ball game. We mentioned it was a full moon tonight. Man alive. What a weird way for this ball game to go tonight. A night where the Rangers were the ones taking advantage of the free base runners all night. But ultimately in the 10th inning, it was the Mets getting the gift.
Very unfortunate.
So I cut out some of the dead silence along the way in that cut. They were crestfallen. And man, it's just so great that it was Aroldis Chapman who did it. You know how many times, Sean Mapes, behind the glass, I rewatched that hit by a pitch to give the Mets a walk-off victory over the Rangers last night? You know how many times I watched it?
No, I don't know how many.
I watched it 6 times because I was trying to see if Aroldis Chapman smiled the same way he did after Jose Altuve took him deep in 2019. And I'm not sure if he did. I think he might have. At the very least, he showed some teeth.
Do you think... where does Aroldis Chapman rank among...
Astros bottoms?
I was going to say, pitchers that have helped the Astros the most.
Well, that's a better way to frame it. Probably a more professional way to frame it. Look.
Because honestly, every time he comes into the game, I'm like excited.
Kenley Jansen, I think, would be up there, but that's dated. Aroldis Chapman has like ranged with how he does it too. Right, because now he's doing it while the Astros are in the American League West. He's helping the Texas Rangers blow their lead over the Astros. So, yeah, he's a friend of the Houston Astros at this point. I think there was a picture of him and Jose Altuve after an Astros-Rangers game.
It was the Framber Valdez scuffle that happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't a scuffle because Aroldis Chapman and Jose Altuve were yucking it up with each other.
Maybe the reason Aroldis Chapman smiled when he gave up that home run to Altuve, and the reason that he had at least his teeth showing as he hit a batter to give the Mets a walk-off victory last night. Maybe it's because, I don't know, he's getting a little something under the table. Paul, are you accusing the Astros of cheating? No, I'm not. I'm not, but it would be really funny if Aroldis Chapman was on the payroll of some degenerate gamblers who are forcing him to make it so that the Astros always win, whether he's playing them or not.
Astros sleeper cell, Aroldis Chapman.
I like that.
Double secret agent.
The Houstonian Candidate. You see the Manchurian Candidate? They made a remake with Denzel Washington. I forget who else was in that movie. It was a couple of years ago. Essentially, like there's a sleeper cell president who's completely brainwashed into doing all sorts of stuff for shadowy figures.
Based on a true story, right?
Probably, but we don't talk about that.
Okay.
We don't talk about that. So, guys, the Astros are now semi-officially tied for first place. It is a wonderful, wonderful day. So now that we've gotten past that, 5 wins in a row, awesome. Tied, sort of, math's weird, for first place, awesome. Now, though, I'm starting to feel like an elitist again when it comes to the Astros. We have standards here, right? I mean, they're up 7-0, and they let Boston make it a 7-4 game. Framber Valdez looked great at first. And I suppose it is progress, again, that when things started to fall apart for him, that he didn't throw at any Boston Red Sox. I honestly was waiting for that to happen. Okay, steps forward as far as a maturity. I maybe he also feels better because they've decided to start wearing different jerseys with him on the hill. They used to wear those ugly, blue, and I hate those blue uniforms that they wear. They're spring training jerseys, you know? I want them to bring back the Tequila Sunrise jerseys full time. We haven't seen them wear those in a while, and instead they wear these. And I think they were entirely doing it because Framber's a little bit superstitious, and now all of a sudden he decides that he wants to wear the orange jerseys, which, by the way, I say great. Those are my favorite current Astros uniforms. And I thought for a moment, the orange jerseys, they're working. But I was a little bit concerned that once again, we've lowered the bar for what we're looking for in a start. After the game, people were saying, well, it was a nice bounce-back performance for Framber at first. We said that J.P. France looked awesome yesterday. We said that Christian Javier looked good at first in his last start. I'm just annoyed that we've lowered our standards when it comes to the starting pitching for this team. It's not the end of the world. And again, I'm 5 games in a row that they've won. Back in first place, I'm just feeling like my proper elitist self again, expecting way more than any team should be able to deliver when it comes to the greatest franchise that we have ever seen play sports here in Houston. Todd the Show says Framber was fine. He only gave up 2 runs, and the defense was trash. The defense not being what it was last year has been a bit of a disappointment. It truly has been. And I don't know what you're really point at. I mean, at least it's not Boston's defense, but I feel like they used to be lights out, and they're not quite at that level anymore. A couple of texts on the most interactive sports talk show in Houston, 713-780-3776. An 832 texter asks, dude, how many teams have you had? LOL, sheesh, just 3. Just 3 baseball teams. Listen, you cover the hometown team for 162 games. You better make yourself a fan of that team. Otherwise, you're just going to be miserable watching it every single night, especially if you're maybe not the biggest fan of baseball, but are still damn good talking about it. What else do we have here? 832. Mariners fans can't celebrate being in first, but you celebrate Rangers not being in first. LOL. Yeah, because I'm petty. Yeah. This is all about watching the Rangers crumble, which is something that they've been doing really well since their last appearance in the World Series when they had a 3-2 series, they had a 3-2 series lead. They had the Rangers, they had the Cardinals on the brink, and they had 2 outs, and Nelson Cruz misplayed a ball in right field. The Cardinals won, and then they would go on to win in 7. I enjoy watching this team fail. From the 832. For some reason, I think Chapman would be good on the Astros. Do you really want to let that one play out?
It would put the sleeper cell theory that I literally came up with like a couple minutes ago. It would really put it to the test, because then if he's like 0 ERA, like
that would be funny,
striking everyone out for the Astros, but
people would claim
every
cheating
time he
right
goes,
away.
What?
People would claim cheating right away if Aroldis Chapman joined the Astros.
Aroldis Chapman,
bad guy, joins evil team, starts pitching well again
when he's like 36.
Right. Yeah. Oh, find some of that Roger Clemens juice. Interesting. Some more comments. Yuli used to help out at first base. Yeah, they're definitely not as good as they were defensively there. Some people are also wondering about this shift ban, how that impacts Framber. Yeah, good points.